Happy Friday. How's everybody doing on this uh, first week of November, first full week of November? Um, Obviously, since Election Day uh, earlier this week, things are looking pretty, things are looking positive if you're liberal. But that's not what this monologue's about today. What I want to talk about is the third harsh truth. And one of the things, and what Jason Pargin says in his original article, he talks about how you should not be a victim because you don't do anything. Like the famous book on late diagnosis for ADHD adults says, you're not lazy, crazy, or stupid. You're just complaining until you get your way or you get fired. It's sort of, playing the victim because of your neurodivergence is sort of often has sounds to me anyway like a preschooler's tantrum. Because like I've said before, a lot of the online discourse out there about autism and ADHD uses victim language. There's a handy flow chart that I got from a academic advising textbook, almost 7 years ago. And it illustrates what victim choices look like versus creator ones. So what I'm going to talk about today is how to not be a victim of your neurochemistry. I've written about this a lot. There's a lot to talk about. So basically, to boil it down, if you're complaining, blaming, and making excuses, you're never going to get what you need in order to have the life that you want. It sucks, yes, and I do plenty of complaining. In fact, the last week, uh, Squibish, my 9-year-old son, watched Seinfeld with me for the first time, and he noticed that primarily that me, like the characters on Seinfeld, complain a lot. So I'm not perfect about this. Nobody is. Okay. So this is as much a reminder for me as it may be for you. Okay. So try to cut down on the complaining. It's difficult, but I think it goes a long way to solving problems. Again, ask yourself this question. What do you have to offer? Brain dump it. Get it down on actual paper and not on your fucking phone, okay? Because on paper, you're in actual control of it. You can tear it up, use it for toilet paper, or throw it out. You can draw all over it, and you can only do one thing on a piece of paper: write or draw. Write on it. On your phone, you might get distracted by a notification and forget what you were doing in the first place. That happens to me all the time. So, struggling to get started? That right there is task initiation. Give yourself a deadline. A deadline. It can be as easy as 5 minutes. For me, it's the smallest step is to do it in 5 minutes or less. There's a lot of talk around the 2-minute rule, which comes from David Allen. But here's my problem with the 2-minute rule. If it takes 2 minutes to get started on the thing, how important is the 2-minute task? Not that important. So I'll avoid it. Doing the thing. Task initiation strikes again. But for me, 5 minutes, that is semi-important because it takes time. It takes time to do it and to do it thoroughly. 2 minutes, you could phone it in and do a half-assed job, or at least I would do a half-assed job. It's 5 minutes. It takes 5 minutes to write this bullet point. Okay. So if it's not important, what do you do? I modified the traffic light Eisenhower matrix. I never tried the spoon theory. It just seemed like it was an awful lot of math. And I'm a writer for a reason. I'm terrible at math. So I modified the traffic light energy log and the Eisenhower matrix to kickstart my ADD brain to give it variations of importance. Okay? Because rather than urgent and important, or not urgent and not important quadrants that are part of the Eisenhower matrix, which is useless for me, there's still four quadrants. Have to do, or a red light activity, and usually I'll try and boil it down to a 5-minute task to get started. Need to do, it's something that can wait until later, but it's still something you got to do, like unload the dishwasher or, pick up your ADHD meds from CVS. Want to do? Usually that involves doing something creative, writing, reading, watching a movie, something like that, watching a TV series, and then maintenance or fun or fuck it. Those are the 4 areas. Usually, the maintenance, fun, or fuck it quadrant has to do with something I'm excited for, like going for a hike, or reading a new book, or drawing something in my journal. Basically, it's something that maintains consistency and something that I value, but it's also something that won't ruin my day if I say, fuck it, and decide to not go for that hike, or not get started on that new book, or not draw that tree in my journal. But the idea is to do one of the 3 in the maintenance activities first thing, because that's a really good way to get started with my day. Anyway, that's today's harsh truth. Have a great weekend, everyone.